Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Shit Moms Won't Say. I have my first couple on tonight, and despite all history, they are not just friends. They're actually married. Like, they're married, they have a baby together. That's what lesbians are. So I'm trying to just have like a big educational Pride Month. Lesbians are when two women, now hear me out, it's when two women marry each other. You may also know one of the two of these lovely ladies, though, from her awesome platform, Peace, Pride, and Purpose, which is exactly what it sounds like. Welcome to my show, Moms of One, Danielle and Barbara. Hello.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming on. And I just learned that Barbara is a broken leg. So if you see somebody like squirming around and it's not me, it's because you have broken. How did you break your leg?
I was riding my motorcycle and I went to a median.
Fuck, man, that's like the coolest way to do it, though. So like I've broken things and I have like really stupid scars and shit, and they're never cool. Like they're never a cool story. It's like, oh, I tripped over this wire. Like a full, your motorcycle.
My motorcycle. It was a guardrail. I was going around a bend and hit some sand. And, yeah.
That's also maybe the gayest thing I've ever heard. So congratulations. Yeah, congrats to you. That's
thanks.
I don't know that can be beaten for like, that's gay moment of the year. So listen, we're going to see how this goes because I've never had a couple on. We're going to do the Big Mom 3. I want to hear from both of you. I was joking before we started filming is my wife and I have done interviews together and we literally just talk over each other the whole time. So I hope it's the same and I hope I can like mediate. And if I can't, then all three of us will just be talking at the same time. So let's do, we'll go question by question. Why not? That's how it works. Okay. So first question of the Big Mom 3, and I'm excited to hear, I want you to say this one at the same time. It's a yes or no question. I want you to both just on like the count of 3, I'll ask the question. I'll go 1, 2, 3, say your answer. Cool?
Okay.
Okay. Did you always know you wanted to be a mom? 1?
Yes.
Fuck, man.
Oh,
all right.
Listen. We don't listen very well.
No.
We couldn't even wait for that.
We have no time to spare. We're in it. We're in it to win it. Listen, at least you both had the same answer. So that's good.
You're totally more competitive though. You're like, yes.
Yes. You're like, no, she screamed at me. She did. She totally yelled in my face. So
we almost got divorced over Mario Party. It's competitive.
Yeah. Not even kidding.
You know what? It's pretty serious. I think we don't play games together. My wife is very competitive. In a way that I am not. And it's such an ugly color on a person. And every time we play a game together, if I ever win, she's like, congratulations. Like she gets really mad. So we just
loser, right? Yeah.
So I understand. Yeah. You got the point to you, by the way. Yeah, I get it. That's divorce worthy. Okay, this one you cannot answer at the same time, but I do want to hear from both of you. So how about this? Because Barbara is jumping to answer questions. How about you go first? And then Danielle answers, okay? And then the last of the Big Mom 3, we're gonna switch. So here's this one. What is the shittiest or like most backhanded piece of advice you've ever gotten from another mother or parent? Ooh.
Shittiest
Such a tough question.
or backhanded advice?
Or like something awful that like another parent has said to you.
Oh, okay.
Now I gotta think about that.
Yeah. Pretty much to just let the iPad watch the kid. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like they'll be distracted for a while. You take some time for yourself, and it's like, but
that's a good one.
Yeah.
And it's like a to each their own mentality. I get it.
Yeah. No, but like 2 minutes in, she'll be like on YouTube, like pressing everything, you know.
I don't even know how to navigate
with the screen that's close to her face.
Yeah, and like my daughter's a year and a half. I don't know how she knows how to like scroll. She knows how to do all of it. We try to just not do that. Danielle, what do you got?
What came to my mind like initially was, so I come from a family of 4 children and a single parent household, and all of my siblings had children before we did. So we're kind of like the last in line to experience parenthood. And a lot of my siblings will minimize our experience in ways like, just let her live, like she's fine. And we'll get to that later, like she does have a lot of significant issues, but we're like helicopter moms because we we've almost lost her, you know what I'm saying? So like they don't get that. So I would say not particularly advice, but they're just like, let the leash go a little bit.
No, I think that falls into that category. You know, it's like it's something that somebody's telling you that's not helpful. You know, like that's sort of what this show was built on, was like mom saying things to either my wife or to me or to like our friends and things like that you're like, well, thanks for like the great words. Like it does literally nothing for me. Like it doesn't help us at all. So yeah, I think that totally falls in that category. All right, now we're going to switch it up. So it's Danielle first and then Barbara. So don't be shouting.
Wait your turn.
Yeah, don't shout, right? Don't get up.
No, I won't get up.
Just kidding, you can't. Okay. What is a skill or superpower you had before becoming a mom that you think has really helped you as a mom?
Ooh. Definitely multitasking.
Yeah, you just juggle a lot.
All the time.
That's a good answer. You didn't give her much time to think though, so I don't know.
No, you really didn't.
My bad.
It's all right.
All right, you're up. Her whole answer is multitasking. So you're up.
I feel like Danielle's gonna laugh at me for this, but I did put a lot of work in on this before.
I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. Say it.
Developing patience.
I knew she was gonna say that.
Okay.
I had to work on developing patience, regardless of me jumping in before 1, 2, 3 and saying my answer. But
it's a process.
Yeah. If you could believe it, I wasn't the most patient person. And yeah.
If you could believe it, neither am I. So except I've put no work in on it. So I think that's really wonderful.
Thanks.
Good for you. Okay. That actually went much smoother than I thought it would, having two people answer those questions at the same time. Okay, maybe we can do this couple thing moving forward. We'll see. And by the way, I'm going to say it for everyone else out there, even though Danielle doesn't know who she is. Everyone else out there, I would like you to weigh in on this. Tell me this chick doesn't look just like Abby Jacobson. And I'll wait. Like, I'll pause when this is posted to be like, go ahead and comment. Okay. And then forever, whoever comments, it's great. And if you don't comment, it means you don't watch the episode because I'm right. Okay. So
I don't even know the show you're talking about.
Broad City. It's one of the funniest shows of all time. Did your kid watch Sesame Street at all?
No. She doesn't really that.
I'm batting 1,000 with TV with you guys. One of the girls from Broad City also plays Mrs. Noodle. I don't know. We live a sad life. Anyway, let's get into some more nitty gritty stuff. So you guys met very young, 2003. You were in high school, and kind of chat me through like how you guys met. Did you date in high school? Were you out in high school? Like, what did that look like?
How do you want to answer that one?
Well, how we met was
kind of a funny
my friend was actually her ex-boyfriend from the year before, and he brought me over to sit at the table with her, and she was in the cafeteria. Yeah. And she was cursing up a storm. I'm like, what's your fucking problem? She's just like, ah!
Yeah, I was like throwing F-bombs left and right, and that's how we met.
I was like, I like this chick.
She was attracted to that, I guess.
You have a soft spot for bad language.
I do.
Looking along fine. But so did you date in high school? I know you like got together officially years later, but did you date in high school?
We were essentially dating without dating, I think. Like, she wore my hoodie every day.
Yeah, it was like unspoken.
Unofficial.
I would go and watch her soccer games and, be cheering up for her on the sidelines. I decorated her locker and like super gay shit like that. We'd pass notes to each other. Like, It was a little bit beyond best friends, I would say, but never like expressed. It was kind of unspoken. For sure.
That's so cool. Well, because I mentioned to you guys before, and by the time this airs, our like Queer Voices project will be out that we're doing with It Gets Better. And what I love about the It Gets Better project is it's literally that messaging over and over and over again. Is like, once you get older, it gets better. And like being in high school, I graduated 2004. So like in that time frame, coming out like wasn't an option. And like I had a little secret girlfriend in high school. I did, I think most lesbians did, that people are like, wait a second. You're like, no, I don't know how you didn't know. Like we were together all the time, and like, like for you guys, was it an option? Like, or were you just like, no, we're not acknowledging this yet?
We weren't acknowledging it. I think.
Yeah, I would say there were definitely rumors, and the rumors were true. How they got out, obviously, I have no idea, but I did date someone who happened to be my best friend. Didn't work out. It doesn't ever work out when you date that friend that you're interested in. But yeah, it became like a rumor, and then I immediately was like, nah, I'm not dealing with all this bullying and just like backlash from like the people in our school. So that was the hard part, but I was never out to my family till later.
Yeah. Because now you guys are together, same as my wife and I are together 10 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
It is. Both of you are like, no, it's a long time. It's a long time.
I feel like we've been through so much even before that, so it feels like a lot longer.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And I think the like meeting in high school thing, like you guys have like all of the context in the world about each other. Like you didn't meet as adults necessarily and then like figure each other out. Like you met as kids and you're like, okay, I got you. Like I know what you're about. And then you like reconnected later and like got together, which is cool. That's a cool story. I like it. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. It gets better. That's why I like that, because it's true. Like you were like, oh, I'm not dealing with this bullying and this bullshit in high school. And then, however many years later, you were like, well, fuck them. Like we're together now. So like it changes so much. I think that's so cool. Speaking of like, you said you feel like you've been together a lot longer because you guys have been through so much together. A lot of times I'll have people on here who just have like crazy stories, and like I feel like the fertility journey for same-sex couples is so different to begin with. Even if it's like a typical pregnancy, quick enough, sort of like an insemination process, it's still totally different. And you guys had you had a pretty rough go of it. And then you had a really traumatic birth experience. So I just want to hear about it. So I don't know. I know you guys are like not great at taking turns. So I don't know if one of you wants to tell it, or if you want to, I don't know if you like rehearsed it that it's every other word, but like however you want to tell it. Go ahead.
Sure. I don't know, where do you want to start with that? Well, I mean, I guess I don't know how you and your wife went through the experience, but like obviously went through like a donor.
You went anonymous donor?
Yeah.
We did an open donor.
We didn't open donor, but obviously anonymous.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We didn't want to make the decision for their child, like if they ever wanted down the line to be able to reconnect with other siblings or even with the donor themselves. We didn't want to be selfish in that way.
That's smart. We did a closed thing. However, I then Google image searched him and I do know who he is.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Really? That's so interesting because
if you want me to do it for you, I will. I know everything about the guy. They give you like every piece of information on them.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I know the scrape on the knee you have from when you were like a child, but you don't know their name, you don't know their age. I know everything about the guy.
But our donor doesn't have the name listed.
No, ours either. I just found him.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I do some like dirty search then.
My friends call me a stalker. Yeah, like if there's something you need to find out about someone, I'm your gal. So
man,
if you want me to find them for you offline, I'm happy to. It would be my pleasure, honestly. You guys think about it.
All right.
Yeah.
So I just going back. So we started our journey in, what was it, 15. And I was still in grad school at the time. And, the process is lengthy. You got to not only, I don't know if you or your wife carried, but
my wife carried.
For the carrier, I hate that word, but the carrier, you got to like go to all your checkups and like get poked and prodded, and I hate that. That's one of the biggest things that I hate about it. So we were doing that for a while. We initially went through one doctor for a few inseminations before we were like, we're throwing thousands of dollars at this, it's not working. I don't seem to have any fertility issues. What's going on? And Barbara was an EMT for a long time, 10 years, right? About 10 years. And her medical brain was like, we need a second opinion. We got to go like to someone else. And upon seeking another opinion, they found that I had fibroids. I don't know if you're familiar with those.
I myself have had a myomectomy, which is why
okay.
I am unable to carry. So yeah, I'm super I don't want to carry anyway, but I am super familiar. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Barbara never had an interest in carrying. It was always going to be my decision to do that. But it was hard. So we had tried 3 inseminations with the other doctor before seeking the second opinion. And then when I had the fibroids, the first doctor told me they were nothing to worry about. The second doctor told me that they were literally squishing the uterine walls together so that I couldn't conceive at all. And I needed a myomectomy. So I had that done. And thankfully, after 2 more tries, we wound up with our daughter.
After your myomectomy?
Yes.
I think because of my advanced maternal age, although Barbara, I'm like you, I've never wanted to carry a baby in my whole life. I think I could throw up thinking about it. Anyway, I don't feel like feminine enough to do it. I don't know. It's just not for me. The whole like touching bellies, whatever. I don't know. But I was told after my myomectomy, and I think it's because of my age still, like, even if I wanted to, don't do it. So I guess it depends on like where things are, like fibroids are, I guess.
Yeah. I had amazing 3 removed.
Got pregnant. 3.
Yeah. I had 3 removed. One of them was pretty sizable. And left a lot of like scar tissue behind. But yeah, I was still able to conceive.
Amazing.
I don't know. I feel like I'm talking. Do you want to say something about our experience? You're like,
I'll jump in when I want
you're
to.
like watching me tell our story.
You did give a very enthusiastic no on being
hard pass.
A hard pass.
Yeah, so I mean, like over that time, it was like almost 2 years before we actually conceived, between the surgery, all the appointments. It was frustrating. You're throwing money at it. At the time, my insurance had covered it, the inseminations anyway, but the donor itself, that gets expensive. That gets costly.
It is.
So then we conceived. I had a pretty, I don't want to say normal pregnancy. I had hyperemesis.
Oh,
really?
Oh my God.
Bad.
Terrible.
Yeah, it was really.
It made her like.
Yeah.
She would just start gagging.
Food in general, like any smell, anything, and it lasted for almost the whole pregnancy.
Yeah, it's a third trimester.
Yeah, so I actually lost about 25 pounds while I was pregnant, and just like by the grace of God didn't die. I don't really know how. And yeah. So do you want me to get into like the whole birth thing?
Sure, yeah. Or
there goes my
one done.
Done. Perfect.
It's like transition point.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like a nice stop. And then like I see you trying to like pass the ball too. You're like, say it, talk about the birth.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, I'm gonna sit here and nod my head.
I mean, I don't know if I should even be talking too much about that. I actually didn't plan for that.
Then don't. It's up to you. You don't talk about anything.
No. It's not like emotionally. Like I'm fine emotionally, but So all right. Well, we obviously didn't expect the outcome, but she was born at 37 weeks because of my myomectomy. They didn't want me to go to full term.
Were you were induced, or you had a planned C-section?
I had a C-section that was scheduled. When she was born, her lungs were not fully developed. So she needed oxygen pretty quickly and was rushed to the NICU. Stayed there for about, what was it? They said 19 days, but it felt like,
it was 19 days.
It felt like, I felt like 2 months that we were there, like sitting at her bedside and watching her basically fight for her life. Her lungs collapsed twice.
We weren't there for one of them. The other one we were.
Yes, right.
And they literally came in and were just like
kicked us out, and we're like, we need to like intervene. We had no idea what was going on.
Wow, that's so scary.
Yeah, pretty shitty situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, big facts.
Yeah. So after we left the NICU, you know, it was hard to navigate not only being a new parent, but having a child with like all these medically compromised issues.
Yeah, we were back in the hospital 2 days later.
Yeah.
My friend and I went to go check on her while she was sleeping and blew her on the lips.
Oof.
So,
and like you're so scared already, you know, as like new parents, and like you have a you know, quote unquote like typical newborn, you know, no seeming health complications, and you think you're going to kill them every second of every day.
Yeah.
You know, you do. Like I remember like she would cry and be like, what's wrong with her? Is she dying? Like I can't even imagine like
amplified.
Yeah, like exactly, like multiply that by 1,000,000, knowing your kid has like a health complication or multiple health complications. That's incredible how you guys kind of like work through that. And she still has like some health complications. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Wow.
Our days are very busy now with her therapies and all that, appointments.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like how you
like
spend
a
your
special
days.
School, and she's in therapy 5 days. Actually, she's in therapy 6 days a week, but 5 of them are in school.
Wow. So just all from like a traumatic birth, it's just continued on kind of down the path. And she's 5. Did I make that up?
She'll be 4 this summer.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. 4. So yeah. I mean, do they feel like down the road she may not have to have so much intervention, or is this sort of her life now? Your life too, really. You just don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really know. It's hard to say. She's got so many things going on.
I think they won't commit to anything because they don't want us to be disappointed.
Yeah.
But I mean,
right. It took her even a long time to just get diagnosed with certain things, because they don't want to slap a label on a child and then like it carries through their lifetime.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like get rid of that stigma. It's kind of like mental health, her physical health as a child.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like you just like set me up really nicely. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but like, Good job. Well, good job. Because that's kind of where I was going to go, because, you know, obviously you guys are very mindful of your daughter's physical health because you have to be. You're both mental health professionals, and I'd love for you to talk about like what you both do. I'd also love to understand, you know, how does that play into parenting? You know, so I've shared on here before, my wife has her master's in psychology. She didn't pursue it as like a practice. She's a doula. But I feel like everything she does kind of links back to her experience in the mental health field. And everything I do like links back to me just like being a mental patient. So I feel like it all like comes together. But I would love to hear like, you know, how do you use that knowledge to parent specifically with like a health, what's the word I'm looking for? A kid who has some health issues.
It's really important to empower her, just really hype her up, no matter what she's doing, no matter how spazzy she looks. Like, you know, that's my kid, you know, like.
Yeah we try to focus, and even just like she said, empowering her about the things that she can do versus the things that she can't, because she recognizes sometimes like, I can't do this, or she'll say it, I can't do this, and I'm like, yes you can, try again. And we're like reinforcing that attitude instead of, okay, give up instead, because a lot of parents don't recognize like child development and how these tools are important in early childhood to be able to develop them. And I think for a special needs child, that's even more important, because they're going to be experiencing like exclusion and maybe bullying at some point. And I pray to God that this doesn't happen, but you know, it's the world that we live in, that we have to kind of protect her and teach her how to speak about herself and believe in herself, so she doesn't think that she's any different.
Well, you know, I'm very hopeful, and I don't know if you guys are too. Like, I'm so hopeful now that, like, I don't know, I feel like mental health awareness, it's not where it needs to be, just like so many other things are not where they need to be. I feel like at least there's a little bit of a lens on it now. Like, again, like when we were in high school, it really wasn't a thing. Like if you were bullied, like you were bullied. Okay. Like I feel like there are some more levers in place now to pull when things like that are going on. So I feel like, it's really cool you guys are raising her to just be like this empowered little girl. Because if somebody starts to bully her, like there's a good chance she's going to be like, hey, fuck you, like whatever, That's my goal, is that so I'll tell you a quick story. When my daughter she was born on October 25th, so right before Halloween, and I was just a train wreck. They don't really talk about it. And I wonder, like, Barbara, if you had this, like, they don't really talk about like the non-biological parents, like mental experience with birth too, because like there's a lot, and there's focus should be on like the physical because it's so difficult. But I was a fucking train wreck. I was a train wreck. I was upset. I just like couldn't get it together. Cause like here, it was like this little baby, and I never really wanted kids until I wanted kids, and I was holding her in this like little tutu outfit. She was Max from Where the Wild Things Are. And then we changed her. We changed her into like this little tutu later on in the day, because I'm sure she like shit up her back or something. I forget. But I was hysterical crying, and I'm not a big crier. I was hysterical crying on the couch at the thought of someday, if this little baby who's in a tutu was in like a ballet class, and somebody bullied her. I was hysterical crying about it. And like I remember thinking to myself, I was like, it is your job to like get your shit together and teach this kid. If somebody did bully her, knock wood, like hopefully no one does, you never know. Someone did bully her, for her to like, fuck you. Like that's our job. So I think it's amazing that you guys are focusing on that. It's great.
Never too early to start.
It's true. And what do you both do in the mental health field? Because I know you both work in the mental health field. I think if I'm correct, I think you're a creative art therapist, Danielle.
Yes.
Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Barbara, I'm not going to make anything up. I don't know what you do, babe. What do you do?
I am a certified recovery peer advocate. So basically,
cool.
Yeah, what I do is I draw from my experience with different issues, and I talk to people on a same level sort of thing.
That's amazing. That's really cool. Good for
Thanks.
You guys. And that has to play a pretty big role in parenting, because you're so cognizant of like the mental health journey on all sides of the equation. Danielle, are you able to use like any of your like creative art therapy with her? Like, is that something you bring home, or do you like leave work at work?
No, I've definitely integrated some of the skills. Like I can teach her how to be expressive, and like when she's having a meltdown, like we practice mindfulness, like deep breathing. Yes. Or identifying your emotion in the moment, and expressing yourself through different ways. Like when she needs to get up and move, she needs to get up and move. Or if she wants to paint that day, she wants to paint that day. Like you kind of just got to meet her where she's at and what she's capable of doing physically, but also emotionally. So there's definitely some aspects that being a therapist has helped me be a better mom.
That's great. Well, cool. I thank you guys for both sharing it. I know it's like not a super fun thing to talk about, and I'm sure you've talked about it like ad nauseum with everyone in your life. Lots of people don't understand that side of parenting though, because many people are blessed with a typical birth, a typical child, and it's really important to find the time to learn about other parents and like how their journeys are so different and how their journeys are difficult, and how that goes. So I appreciate you sharing it. Let's start to wrap it up. I have two final questions. Again, I want to hear from both of you. Both. So we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna go, I don't know, I guess we'll go Danielle first, then Barbara, and then we'll go Barbara, then Danielle. Cool?
Okay.
So Danielle, first, you have a 4-ish-year-old. And I love this question because there's moms of just all different age children on the show, so the answer always changes. What is something as a mom of 4-year-old that you cannot live without?
Oh man. For her? Oh man, that's a tough question.
Or for you, like I've had people be like,
for
follow
me,
that guy hide in my bag, like whatever, whatever like makes you feel, whatever it is. Be for her,
okay.
For you, doesn't matter.
I definitely need like time for self-care.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, not only between being a mom to a special needs child, but being a therapist also, like, you pick up, I keep kicking the table. You pick up like everyone's energy every day, and like you spend it everywhere, and it's hard to like get back to be able to keep giving. And for me, that's kind of like my platform for my business too, is like I'm focusing and advocating for self-care for not only you don't have to be a mom to practice self-care, but through a spiritual aspect too. Like, religion shouldn't be a forced thing where I feel like, at least in my family, it was like, you have to practice your sacraments in order to be like, blah, 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 forgiven. And we don't believe in that. I mean, I don't practice that. I did it because I was told. So now, like, I'm kind of paving the way, not only for myself, but for other people, and paying it forward in that way, so that I don't feel like, or spirituality has to be like one journey. It could be a journey through self-care in many different ways.
Yeah. And I mean, I definitely like implore people to check out like Peace, Pride, and Purpose. It's cool. Like it's a really cool thing that you're doing. Like I enjoy seeing it. And I'm, like I've said on here before, like I'm sort of a Neanderthal when it comes to like all things spirituality. I'm learning, I'm trying. I go to Reiki now, so that's something. Cool. Although like she's my friend and she watches the show. She's gonna be like, "You've been to Reiki twice, you dumb bitch." But like I've been there, I've gone there.
So once means you go.
You know, right. So screw you, I've been there. But I think it's really what was that?
If you go one time, then you went.
I've been.
If you go more than once, then you go.
I go.
Yeah.
Right. I go.
I'll back you up.
Thank you very much. I already know I'll probably get a text from her like, "That was so fucking stupid." I'm like, that's why I'll go to her though, because she'll call me out on my shit. And what about, so Barbara, what about you? What is something you cannot live without as a mom?
As a mom, something that I can't live without. It's a hard question to answer because I get what Danielle's saying about self-care.
Yeah.
But I think the other part of just being a mom is that I think most moms have a hard time drawing the line of when is it time for you? Because I can't justify taking a moment to myself when, like, you know, my whole world is in another room sleeping right now.
Well, it's like mom guilt, you know,
Yeah.
You always have that guilt. Like, even if you go out and you're like, all right, I'm going to go, I don't know, I'm going to the gym for an hour. All of a sudden you're like, well, did I really need to? Like, it's tough. I get it. It's tough. And the answer is yes.
If somebody else would ask me, absolutely. Go take that hour for yourself.
Yeah, go take that. And it's no big deal. My wife and I, do you guys, so I'm curious because like we're all, you know, we're a lesbian couple too. Like, and I feel like women are generally more mindful of like mindfulness and self-care, right? Like we have conversations all the time. Like my wife has said what you just said to me. Like if you were to say that, would you say that to another person? And you're like, when I'm saying, look, I can't do that. I don't have time for that, like mom guilt or whatever. Like, do you guys have conversations like that you're like, well, I'm going to go take 10 minutes for myself, but I feel guilty about it. Like we do that all the time, but we have these like guilt-ridden conversations. Do you guys have?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. No, I don't know if that happens in straight couples because I think like, and I don't know, I'm sure some straight couples could be like, of course it does, whatever. But like, I think
it's much different.
It's different, right?
Yeah, I go on these mom groups sometimes and they're like, my husband, I'm like, that sucks. Get a woman. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yes.
Like men have different priorities in a relationship and as a parent, like they can separate themselves much easier than a mom can.
I think so too. And I like hate generalizing. I've seen, like, I think that's like sort of the norm. Even, and that's not to be like fathers aren't amazing. I think it's just a different, two women are just different. A different situation. Yeah. I'm with you though. I like in the mom groups, that's why I don't look anymore. Like,
no, I can't.
We get it. You hate your fucking husband. We get it.
Or they talk shit about their kids, but I'm like, I'm so grateful to have mine. So I'm not going to sit there and like identify with what you're saying.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves. And so like I do my Friday rants. That's like one that's on my radar. And by the time this airs, who knows, maybe it'll have come out at that point. But like, I cannot stand when people complain about their children. I can't stand it. I think it's awful. I really do. Because I get like, then you have somebody like you guys who like fought like fucking hell to have your baby and still fight to like make sure her life is comfortable and wonderful, you know, or you have a lesbian couple who's paid thousands of dollars to have a baby. And like, I'm sorry you're so fucking fertile and you have 50 kids and you hate all of them. That's not everyone's situation. So yeah, I can't stand it. So anyway, last question here. And I'll go, what did I do? So I have to go Barbara, Danielle. So this is a tough one. So take your time while she's answering.
Ooh, okay, good.
What is something you know now that you wish you knew before becoming a mom?
That everyone is going to think that they know what's best for your child. Like, you know, some of the decision making, especially since we have like a lot of medical components to things, it's like, well, you know, have you read about this medication or with the seizures? Why not CBD? And then, you know, like everybody and their mom was like, literally everyone and their mom.
Yeah.
And your mom, my mom, you know, they all have a remedy. Everybody has a remedy. And it's like, shut the fuck up for a minute. Like, let me think. How about that?
Yeah.
Let us think. We barely have enough time to get our heads together to discuss it. Like, don't bombard us, you know? And that's not to say that I don't appreciate concern or, you know, people's experiences with similar things. It's just more of, you know, don't overstep and be pushy about it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna happen. Like, you think people would have their heads on straight about these things, and they don't. They see why they're going over.
They don't even realize it. It just comes out and they're like, well, have you tried this? And you're like, no, I haven't tried the most obvious fucking thing. Thank you for your recommendation. Like, great. You know,
you take her to the doctor. Like, which one? Yeah.
Are you sure it's a seizure? Yeah, pretty sure sure about it. Like, morons. That's a good answer. It's a really good
The worst question we get is like, is she gonna grow out of it? And I'm like,
grow out of seizures?
I don't have a fucking crystal ball. Like, and even a medium can't tell you that. No, even a psychic couldn't tell you that.
Like, I feel like though, like that's something you'd be managing. Like, even if she grows out of like seizures, or like that's something you're still gonna keep an eye on. You know, like it's not.
Yeah.
People are so fucking stupid. Oh my god. I'm sweating from that. I hate that. I really do. I really hate that. I hate that for you guys. You should send it to my page. Like, the next person that says something shitty to you, be like, you know what? You should message my friend Jess. She loves stuff like that. And then just let me like go off. That's my new hobby. So I'm in. Right. It's just ripping people apart.
Yes.
Yes, it's how I get my energy out. Like, you have spirituality and like you have this beautiful page and this beautiful mindfulness. I am just a total cunt to people 100% of the time now. That's what I've started doing.
Don't worry, I'll like it too. Fucking guardrail. That's how I relax.
Anytime, so like, just sidebar before I answer, but there's times where like, I mean, you have to be your child's advocate, and sometimes it's with insurance companies, it's with doctors, it's with specialists and therapists, and I'm really bad at being like confrontational and assertive. And she's so great at it. I'm like, take the phone, argue with the people. Like,
that's what my wife does. So my wife will literally, my phone's charging, where I would have done a full example. I'll say, Katie, please, can you try? Can you try? Just make the phone call. You can do it. It could be like, I don't know, somebody working on the house, just call. In the middle of a call, she has literally, while the person is talking to them, just handed me the phone without telling them, like, I'm switching it up, like, just handed it to me.
Well, you see, it's two women, you know, so like if she was a husband, you couldn't be like, here.
Right, exactly. The guy, I mean, all the tone changed dramatically, but you know, I feel like there's always one of those in a relationship though. Like, you have your own, you know, you have your own strengths. That's not one of them. Yeah. You have your own strengths. Probably lots of hers are not yours, and it balances out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There can't be two passive people.
No.
Two assertive people.
No, you can't have two like bulls 100% of the time, or the other way.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have it? I feel like we gave you so much time now. We gave you like hours to think about it.
I did. And I like feel like I'm not going to answer. I'm on the spot. There are some times where I feel like I wish I would have known how challenging being a mom would be. And so when I answered initially that I wanted to be a mom, I'm similar to like, I grew up in a chaotic household. Like I didn't want kids initially until I couldn't have them when we were trying. And I was like, now I fucking want this, you know? You don't realize until your priorities change. So I feel like I wish somehow I would have known how much of a challenge it would be, but I'm still grateful regardless of those challenges anyway.
Yeah. All right. That was a great answer. Well, listen, ladies, thank you so much for being here. Where can people find you? I know, Danielle, your business, Peace, Pride, and Purpose. Barbara, I don't know. Do you want people following you? You might not.
I just float around. I don't do it.
You're just here for the fun. You're here for the ride. Listen, last time you were here for the ride, you broke your fucking leg, so relax.
Yeah.
So Peace, Pride, and Purpose, and we'll obviously tag it out. Make sure you're following her. I love your content. It's so nice. It's the exact.
Oh, thank you.
It's so nice. Like when you just want to have like a relaxing moment, I'm like, let me look at Danielle's page. It's so nice.
She's very tranquil.
Thank you.
She's very tranquil. I need that. So I'm happy we've met each other. I have that in my life now, a tranquil person. I'm not used to it. And be sure to keep on following Shit Moms Won't Say. We have amazing, amazing moms coming up, and have a great night.